But anyway, basically, yeah, the thing that I wanted to get kind of expressed in this video is that, you know, there's a lot of talk on the internet about the sheeple, and people use that term, the sheeple, and maybe 5, 6 years ago, even when I was in high school, I was like, why can't people see, what's going on, because I was into I understood a lot of the esoteric, the extraterrestrial and stuff, and I was mega, always trying to get people to understand that we live in this greater universe with beings from all different planets and so on. But even on just a more global scale, I couldn't understand why people didn't. They had such a short memory. In other words, they couldn't see the patterns and so on of the just politically in the way that the different wars that had happened, and the same techniques that are used over and over again. El Salvador, or people didn't even know about these wars. They didn't know about Cambodia. They didn't, people knew about Vietnam, but they didn't even know about the Cold War growing up. I mean, it was just a movie or something. So, excuse me. But anyway, so I was very frustrated myself about those things, about people not understanding, and so, when I heard that term, the sheeple, people just basically following the herd and so on, I used it, I used to use it too, but the more I realised, if you really think about that term, like the sheeple, who is it that really, who does it sound like when you use that term? Who else thinks of the public as the sheeple? Those that, basically dumb down idiots, is basically what it's saying. They can't see the truth. To me, that sounds exactly like what the elite, and the way that the elite think of the people, or the masses. And this is where the compassion, and being able to put yourself in someone else's shoes, such as someone who doesn't see the truth, is really important, because I don't see that as their fault that that they don't see the truth. I see that the whole structure of control on this planet is geared towards suppressing every natural ability or natural way of being able to discern truth and to understand what's going on. Fluoride in the water, television pumping out crap 24 hours a day, the chemtrails. You've got basically, this huge net that's designed to suppress people's, just basically freedom. So, I have a lot of compassion for those people, because we're all under that system. Now, I'm not saying that we're not breaking away from that, and obviously the energy now is dismantling it. But I think it's a good idea to have compassion and be able to put yourself in someone else's shoes, especially if you were asleep for a long time and then you woke up and then you start calling people the sheeple. You're really not thinking too much about how you were previously, And I had a period myself where I went to sleep, for say about 3 or 4 years. I mean, I was never asleep. I was always reading books and doing stuff like that. But I gave up in trying to convince people about extraterrestrials or, political stuff. I used to just go on Friday nights and just drink myself into oblivion, and just talk about whatever, just because, no one else wanted to talk about anything that I felt was interesting. But so anyway, I just think it's important that no one really see themselves, especially in this movement, as above or below anyone else. It's really about having compassion, and when I joined YouTube back in, or set up my account back in, it was like June last year. You know, I put for my I'm just having a look here. What was it? Oh yeah, about me thing. I said, you know, sovereign soul of the stars, because you know, the reason I said that is because I am a sovereign being, and so are you. You know, the thing is, sovereignty. I'm not talking about like the Queen, or you know, their class as sovereigns. You know, the King or the Queen or whatever like that. I don't care about any of that stuff. Really, there's no being out, whether they're up in a dimension, whether they're, you know, 800 million D, you know, or you know, whether they're have the ability to, you know, dissolve planets with a thought. Do you know what I mean? I don't see them as above me. My boss is the creator, and that's it. That's as far as it goes, and that's why you know, I don't believe it. I know I'm a sovereign being, and you are too. You know, sovereignty is about understanding that, you know, you're in control, and no one else has the right to take that control from you. No one. But it also means, you know, you have to respect the sovereignty of other beings. That's where the, you know, do unto others. And the other one is, so I'm just looking at my notes. I can't sometimes, you know, I can't just make videos and off the cuff kind of thing. I have to, not at the moment anyway. Yeah, the other one I really like that, you know, Jesus said, if he said it. To be honest, I don't care if it was even doctored, because it's the words that matter and it's the meaning that matters, you know. So that's the way I see things. I don't really care about the arguments. As, you know, did they exist? Did they not exist? You know, who cares? Read the words. Do they make sense? You know what I mean? That's about as far as it goes. So who cast the first stone, you know, is basically just saying, you know, if you're out there and you think you've never done anything wrong, then you can cast the first stone. And, you know, the story is talking about someone who's going to be stoned to death. And so, you know, Jesus came in and said, you know, he who hasn't sinned can grab the first rock and throw the rock to kill the person, right? Now, that's an amazing statement, because most people in this world, no one hasn't done something wrong. So if there are people out there that think that they're above everything, and they're just, you know, I'm sorry, but you know, you're talking crap. And it's important, because that gives you compassion when you can understand that others have experienced things you've experienced, and where you can see the problems, and the people that run the, you know, they don't run the planet, but you know what I mean, the control structure, and the people who are into this sort of control, they don't have compassion, you know, because they wouldn't be doing the things they're doing if they did. And so, you know, I really implore that people who have woken up, you know, to not really think of the sheeple, us and them. You know, if we're all one, as in on a higher level, but down here we're all sovereign beings. We are sparks of the Creator expressing ourselves. You know, I'm not part of any sort of Borg collective, you know, and I'll never will be. And I'm never going to take orders from any being, regardless of how, you know, powerful they are. Some beings have incredible ability. Some people have really high vibrations, and that's, you know, I respect that, and I'll always listen to people, you know, no matter who it is. I'll listen to what they have to say, but I'm not going to be put down by them. That's for sure. And because some people do that in this movement, you know, there are people. By the way, there are people flying around in the astral, you know, and invading people's sovereignty quite a lot, you know, and that's why, if you're going to say you're sovereign, then you better really understand what sovereignty is. It's also to respect the other person's sovereignty, not just say I'm a sovereign being and therefore go out and abuse other people's sovereignty. You know, that's just my 2 cents on that. You know, I don't really go out and astral project and all that stuff yet. I want to, but you know, I seem to be pretty limited at the moment as to what I can do or, you know, see, or especially my vision and so on. But I just wanted to talk about that and to really let people know that it's a good thing to, you know, come from your heart, respect other people's sovereignty, and also respect your own sovereignty, and realize that you're a sovereign being, and that you know, the Creator loves you, number one, unconditionally, and that you're, you know, you are awesome, and to, you know, respect other people's abilities, but never doubt that you're, you know, you're not worth something, because, you know, you are. Even though, you know, I gotta admit, I do sometimes to myself, like heaps, but, you know, I'm trying to work through all that stuff. Anyway, this is like I've been like crazy rambling. I don't even know if I can even make a video this long, but yeah, I just hope that goes, you know, makes sense to someone. You know, I was rambling, but yeah, much love to everyone out there, and yeah, keep strong, and yeah, see you soon. Namaste.